I work for a company called Meyer Tool Manufacturing. We do ASME pressure vessels. We do a lot of vacuum chambers. Our specialty is vacuum chambers and pressure vessels, but we take all kinds of work. I've been here for going on 11 years, and we've done a lot of really cool stuff. I know when my very first day that I started here, I actually was working on some space parts for I believe Blue Origin, and so I thought that was pretty cool. We do work on parts for we've done a lot of parts for CERN, the Hadron Space Collider, the Atom Collider. It's we basically our motto is we build the impossible. So it seems like a lot of stuff that other shops might be afraid of. We kind of just we tackle it, we go for it, and we usually succeed. It's some really cool stuff, absolutely. I've done a lot of different types of like titanium chambers, a lot of stainless. It's a good mix. It's definitely a good mix. We have our one-offs, and then we also have our types of low production parts that we like to run too. Those are great for us. But yeah, I really think. I mean. I think the most, I would say the craziest thing we've ever done, I think, is working on a lot of the CERN units, all the internals of the atom smasher, as they call it. Just to know that that's over in Switzerland, and they're taking atoms and smashing them together. It's like kind of scary, but in the same sense, is what are they going to discover from that stuff? And our company is part of that. Like we built a lot of the internals for that. It's pretty cool. I first started off went to DeVry University and I tried out the computers, and then I didn't really like that, and then I realized that, well, wait a minute, I'm hearing about all these tech jobs getting shipped overseas, and so I probably have no job security, and I'm going to pay for all this money for this degree, and next thing you know, it's going to be shipped off overseas, my job. So I ended up dropping out of DeVry, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be a businessman, another service providing, right? Let somebody else do the actual hard part, but I'll try to sell. Because I was already in sales at that time. I was working for cell phone companies selling cell phones. So I was like, all right, well, kind of sales business. I was going to go into that. I ended up going to Robert Morris, local college here, and I hated it. And as you can tell, is a trend. I actually hated college like, all throughout. Robert Morris didn't work out, so I figured I'd take some time off. And then I decided that I was going to become a lawyer. So I spent a couple years getting an undergrad in law. And, during that time, I was trying to figure out what am I going to do meanwhile for working wise, because Miranda, my youngest, she was about to be born too. And so I had a lot on my plate. And so um, I decided to ask my dad to come work with him at Meyer Tool. So he ended up getting me the job here, and he set me up on one of the machines. It was kind of like, yeah, this is what you got to do. And I think the first day I walked away, I didn't realize how much goes into a product when it is being made. And I think a lot of the younger generation, they don't realize that either. And I think they might take it for granted. But again, we've had a lot of manufacturing days where the high school kids would come to the shop and check it out. And I've seen their eyes wide open, like this is really cool. I remember one particular group, I was showing them a machine, and I was showing them, talking to them about CAM, I was showing them tool paths, and I was letting them know that we program the parts right on the computer, or did we design the parts, program the parts to machine them, and put them onto the machine. And it's like the first time some of them has even heard of it. And so I feel like we need to start bringing that back into high schools, and allowing the students to know that there's a whole nother world out there that they could have a successful career, and it's definitely at their fingertips, and they don't have to spend $1 million going to college. That they can help produce some of the greatest stuff that we use. Seeing a trend where I'm seeing a lot of interest in welding, and when you scroll through social media, you'll see that. but I'm not seeing so much in machining. And so I really would like to help try to spark that interest in machining with the youth, because we need machinists. I mean, it's hard to hire people now, and just looking for a good machinist is really hard. So I think the best thing we can do now is to mold the young ones into becoming great machinists, and I want to help with that, so that way we can be successful and make manufacturing absolutely the best it can be in the United States.
This is actually really awesome. I can't say enough how we need to get the youth into manufacturing.
Yeah, I was a panelist there, and let me tell you, I was absolutely excited to see how many students were sitting there in the crowd. That is an awesome success for TMA, and I'm so glad that you guys have a program like that. And I just wish that more high schools would look into getting a machine shop, some kind of metalworking. I know a lot of welding has been happening a lot lately. When I was in high school, they had a welding class. They did not have a machining class. Um, and I noticed that, I went to two different high schools and they both did not have machining classes. But, I talked to my dad and he went to Eisenhower High School, and they had a machining class. So it's like, I think a lot of local high schools had it, but then for some reason decided they were going to cut that funding and get rid of them. And I could just imagine if we could get more high schools involved with creating a machining program, it's our future. And like I told the kids, all the students at the event, that they are the future of manufacturing. If we do not bring in the youth, then our manufacturing is going to die in America, and it's all going to be shipped overseas. And manufacturing is what made our country as great as it is. Especially World War II, when that was happening, the fighting was going on overseas, over the Atlantic. Everything was being made here, and it made us powerful. It made us, the great country that we are. And I think that in order to maintain that, we need to keep manufacturing as one of our highlights in America. Oh, Miranda's my youngest. I do have my stepson, he just finished his last day of senior year yesterday. Um, and he is kind of at the same spot I was when I graduated high school. I knew I wanted to be successful. I wanted to do something with myself, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I know that there was options out there. We talked about school with him, and I pushed the manufacturing thing on him. And it's for some people, and it's not. I probably thinking about maybe bringing him in here, having him check things out. Maybe he might get a little bit interested in it. Um, but a lot of the kids his age too, they're all going off to college, and he's actually thinking kind of twice about it, because he sees me talking about having to pay those student loans all the time. And so he doesn't want to just jump into a college right now without knowing exactly what he wants to do. And he's made a decision right now to be a firefighter. So in a sense, it's kind of it's a trade, I guess you can call it. But I try to tell my kids and that manufacturing is definitely a really good way to have a very good career, and very financially stable. You can make some really good money in manufacturing. If you like to work with your hands, if you like to figure out problems, if you like to be able to have an end result that you can tangibly touch, manufacturing is definitely something to look at. And I know Miranda, she's only 10 years old. She is absolutely excited about being, you know, she calls it Patriot, mini Patriot machinist. She loves coming in here, and she turns on the machines with me, calibrates them, and we look at prints and things. She's really excited. So I think I've rubbed off on Miranda quite a bit, where I think she might actually take a step into CNC machining when she gets a little older.